years ago, I did a video regarding Trump, and I did a television show on it about how God is going to give America exactly what she wants. You hate Trump, you don't want Trump, there's not going to be a Trump. You who want Trump out of office. Hate Trump, hate Trump. God's going to give you what you want. You're going to get a man who's noble, with integrity. There's not going to be a Trump. You don't want borders, then everybody's just going to come on in. God's going to give us exactly what we want. You either want open borders. You want just everybody just to come on in. Everybody and anybody just come on in. Open the borders. No, you're going to have that. You actually are going to have exactly that. God's going to give you exactly what you want. You didn't want borders, just, want everybody to come on in. You're going to have everybody and every kind of evil coming on into America. And we're getting exactly what we want. People who hate America. You who hate America. Dishonor the flag, won't bow to, you bow a knee to the flag. You don't like America. God's going to take America away from you. If you don't like her, you're not going to have her. You hear what I'm saying? You who hate America, you're going to get what you want, exactly what you want. Piece something together here recently as well. When John Paul said in 2021 or by 2021, if America doesn't repent, you know what he said? America would be a third world nation. We are already a third world nation. And there is no recovering from that either. Not according to John Paul, there wasn't. Again, I know everybody wants Trump back. You who hate Trump, you hate America, you don't want to bow the knee when the national anthem is being played. You hate the Constitution. There's not going to be a Trump. I've said, as I saw in my end time dream, there was no law. And I've said, and we don't want law, folks. We don't want the police. We're not going to have the police. You're going to have the military, but you're not going to have the police. There's going to be lawlessness. That's where we're going. Chaos, folks. You don't want peace. You who enjoy, you just want crazy anarchy, lawlessness. God's going to hand you warfare, folks. You're going to get exactly what you want. You hate law, anarchy, you're going to get lawlessness, I'm telling you that. Right now, Israel is going to be the new Afghanistan.
And for Israel, the threat is immediate. Hezbollah leader Hassan Nasrallah says U.S. behavior during the Taliban takeover of Afghanistan indicates the moral downfall of America. They evacuated the dogs who worked in the security forces, but not those who aided them. They took out their equipment but left the human beings behind. These are the Americans. Nasrallah called on those living in the region to draw specific conclusions from the Taliban victory.
You want to know the eagle wings that are going to be carrying the Jewish residents out? We've already seen the eagle wings attempting to carry Americans and Afghanistans out. And who's been doing the takeover? Who do you think is going to take over? We're going to discuss this in a minute. We are getting to witness right now exactly what's going to happen with Israel right now. If you want to call this a sign, for lack of a better word, you're getting a sign right now of where this is going. Jerusalem's going to be attacked, sorely attacked, severely attacked. It's going to be so devastating. This is not going to be anything like Israel has ever known in modern history. In fact, it's going to be so bad, and here's the word, she's going to be removed from her land. And I know you're hearing other things from other people. Now they are going to be removed from their land. They are going to be killed, pillaged, raped, sold, and exiled. That's a word. Now, I'm also going to tell you the next one. And here's where it brings me back to the first one. Our president is going, our administration is going to turn their back on Israel. We're going to turn our back on, where we could go in and repel the enemy, we turn our back. And then, that's prophecy number 3. Our president turns her back on Israel, and we don't help them. And I got to tell you, that makes us guilty of sin. When you could have done something and you do nothing. I mean, it's like the watchman on the wall that's able to warn Israel. All he has to do is just warn. We could do a whole lot more than warn. We don't do anything. We help them, and I think we take some into refuge, but the goal is to let them get out of the land, and then the land is just simply fought over. Israel's removed from land. Now, here's what brings me back to number 1, and here's where I start getting involved. What president does this? I actually went onto YouTube in October 2016. There was no roadmap for the Jewish residents to be exiled, and there's more to that, folks. It's going to get a lot worse than that. Think Islamic-type tactics used upon Israel and Jerusalem, the residents of Jerusalem. Yes. Think death. I don't want to say some of the stuff. Think slavery, and far worse to the kids and the women. But the Jewish residents are going to be exiled, thrown out, folks. And when I wrote this, and God gave this to me, there was no roadmap for any of this. Now, what happened months later after I put that prophecy on YouTube? We had the roadmap. As Obama left office, he had the United Nations UN Resolution 2334 was signed. It is now international law. And what does it say? It is the green light for the international community. Trump's the only one stopping it right now. If there was no Trump, you can only imagine how it would be enforced. And they would love to have Jerusalem, because here's what happened. UN Resolution 2334, which Obama orchestrated, we abstained from the vote. Here's what he did. All settlements after 1967, according to the law, are a flagrant violation of international law. They are back to pre-1967 borders. Jerusalem is an occupied territory according to UN Resolution 2334. Point is this. Now we have the roadmap, but when I wrote this, there was no roadmap. Get the book, folks. We're on the verge. Here's another one I had to replace because the other one came to pass. I had to put it back. And I said this in 2018 as this happened. God spoke and gave me a word, and it's also in the book in the very back. I had to put a little update there. You can see how this can happen too. Everything you can now see how it would happen. Jerusalem's U.S. embassy is overthrown. Did you hear what I said? In fact, there's more to that word. It will be laid waste and desolate. And isn't it interesting? 20 years later, we've now reverted back exactly where we were right before 9/11. If you're not paying attention to this, well, I don't know what you're paying attention to. You're getting a sign of America's, it's over. Our death, what's happened to us and what's happened to Israel, she's next. She's next. And we're getting a sign right now by watching us. Everything's going to revert back of where we would have been, but God gave us a warning 20 years ago. Almost 30 years, 20 years to the day, although this started happening within 30 days of 9/11. 9/11's real quick. And you're getting to see the takeovers. And there's people out there right now, folks, I just wish they'd kind of be quiet because they're saying certain things that aren't true. I'll get to that, but I want you to see what's happening. We're reverting back right now, 20 years later.
No one even really mentions 9/11 anymore. That, to me, that's the whole reason that I'm over here.
That old marker, that old precursor. And the administration knows what's about to come out. I know many of you have seen this, but I want you to see what's being set up for us. I'm going to put up on the screen potential threats, potential terror threats. You've seen this, right? I know you've all have seen this. Why do you think this is now coming out? because they're preparing for where this is going to head. When it comes out, the truth, and you know what I'm talking about. Who are the terrorists? Who are the terrorists going to be? Well, I guess you and I, and many of you watching. And they're going to shut it all down. That's what I keep saying is going to happen. Martial law is going to happen, and they're going to shut you down. And something else I've been seeing and or feeling that I've told people here earlier this year, before first trumpet, I would expect, if I were you, to see martyrdom. Why? Well, because, did you look at the terror? I'll put it back up. What's considered to be a terrorist, if you believe in religious holidays? You're a Christian, you're a Trumper. It's all the same, isn't it? You take out one, you take out the other. Right? You take out one, and if you take out one of these people, you've just taken out a terrorist. You're going to be hailed a hero. This is where we're headed. There's people out there right now who are telling you that Israel's about to be attacked. And you know what I've been telling you? Yeah, duh. But listen to this. These same people, I would liken it to what Paul said. Desiring to be teachers of the law, understanding neither what they say nor whereof they affirm. Did you hear that? They don't understand what they're saying nor whereof they're affirming this. They'll tell you Israel's about to be attacked, but at the same time believe popular theses or doctrines, such as going to be a world dictator. Right? The popular belief in Daniel 9:27, which is there's going to be a 7-year peace treaty. The third temple is going to be rebuilt. They'll tell you all this stuff, but yet not being able to rectify the meaning. Some will say this, I've heard, and I guess that's how they get by with it, is that Israel's going to be attacked, but that's where this world dictator comes up, and there's your 7-year peace treaty. I'm going to make you make a choice in this video. What to believe. Do you believe that the 69 weeks are truly 50 years plus 75 days, or do you think it's 483 years? I'm going to show you something. I'm going to show you how, based on this, how it's impossible. Did I say impossible? Impossible to believe that the 69 weeks are 50 years plus 75 days, a Jubilee cycle plus 75 days, and also believe that there's going to be a temple. You can't have it both ways. You can't have it both ways. This is the last time I'm going to do this, but I'm going to show you this, how there are contradictions. You don't get it both ways, folks. If you believe what I'm saying, that I've told you that it is a 50-year cycle plus 75 days, if you believe that, you cannot say there's going to be a temple. I'll show you why. We have to start back first off with the two timelines that I saw in the Spirit. You all have heard this. I'm going to write them down. The two timelines. One day, years ago, probably about 8 years ago, something like that, I saw two timelines in the Spirit come together. That one, thank God, had a word of knowledge wrapped with it. And it was simply that I knew that these two timelines, and that's almost kind of the way they looked. There was no oops. I need to get this arranged better or something. 1335. You've seen this. There was no 1335 above it. There was no 1260 above it. There was no 75 days, which you get by doing the math. And it didn't say Nissan above it, even though I knew this began in Nissan. I knew it. Now, let me see what I'm going to do here. Let's make it like this. Okay. You have to do the math. You see, you have to do the math to find out there's 75 days there. This is speculative, which is why I never said it, but folks, it's speculative on how these two timelines laid out. Some people put them back to back. In fact, most people do, whether it's first or last. Most people say this 1260 days is the last half of the week. Yet we have a problem, and yet people have done it within years and days. It depends on who you're listening to. The 1335, what's the scripture says? Blessed is he that waits and comes to 1335th day. when I saw this in the Spirit, I knew that's the rapture, that this whole thing ends right here. I knew that this was the 1260 days. I knew it. I don't know, folks. This was where Israel, get a little of this. This is going to bring some stuff together, especially when it has to do with like last week's teaching. This is where Israel, the woman, is in the wilderness being carried away by the eagle wings, which we just got to see the eagle wings carrying people away. She's in the wilderness during this time period. The eagle wings. And that's all she's going to do, folks. It's sad. The whole thing makes me sick the more I think about it. This is what we wanted, though. This is what we wanted. Let me write this up here. 50 years plus 75 days. This is a Jubilee cycle. Jubilee cycle. This is your 70th week. You've seen this before. Somebody emailed me here recently. Apparently didn't get what I explained. I'll explain it one more time. I was reading Daniel chapter 9. Chapter 9. God spoke when I got to verse 25. Spoke. We're going to do this again. I'm also going to tie this into the CRDJQ, which you're going to like. I guess you'll like. I don't know. I want you all to learn some things that I think I've now learned. A little extra as to why we are where we are. Or where we aren't. Know therefore, and verse 25, know therefore and understand that from the going forth the commandment to restore and to build Jerusalem, there shall be 7 weeks, 62 weeks, the street shall be built again, the wall even in troublous times. I'll do it one more time because apparently somebody didn't get it. 7 weeks and 62 weeks. Okay. God said, differentiate when I read that verse. Folks, this is also how God kept the book sealed. He tricked everybody. He didn't explain it. In fact, what everybody's always done, they took the 7 weeks and the 62 weeks and they put them together and they made them all years and they said it's 483 years. But he tricked us. He kept the book sealed. He didn't let us see it even though it was right there. And he said there are different types of weeks. Weeks of years, weeks of days. 7 weeks. 7 times 7 is 49. That's 49 years. Then you got yourself 62 weeks, weeks of days. A simple way of doing the math, as I tried to do it last week, was saying, last week, 52 weeks is in a year. That's a year. By everybody's standards, that's a year. 52 weeks. That gives you an extra 10 weeks. What's 10 weeks? That's 2.5 months, right? Everybody understands 10 weeks is 2.5 months. What's a biblical month? 30. So we have 2.5 months, 30, and what's half a month? It's not going to be 14 days, folks. We're talking a biblical month. 15. So 30, 15. That's 75 days. So you got yourself a year plus 2.5 months. Or a year added to the 49 is a Jubilee year plus your 2.5 months. A Jubilee year plus 75 days. Jubilee year plus 75 days. That's your 62 weeks. You got it? Or a Jubilee cycle plus 75 days. Hope I said that right. That's it. There was no manipulation of trying to twist this or change this or anything. And as I did a video before, which all it does, it winds up showing you, and I'm about to show you this again, sort of. What do we get if we understand that that's exactly what this is? 50 years, 69 weeks. Write this down. 69 weeks. "69 weeks is the 50 years plus 75 days. These two timelines prove the other's truth. And at the ending of this, what happens? According to Revelation chapter 12, the woman is booted out of the place. She's carried out with her good old eagle wings. It's the last time you're going to see of, by the way. How do you have a temple there? If you understand by reading verse 26, what's verse 26 says? You can learn some of this. After three score and 2 weeks, shall the Messiah be cut off, but not for himself, and the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. And the end thereof shall be with flood. Unto the end of the war desolations are determined. After this point, after the 69 weeks, the people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary after the 69 weeks. Where's your temple? You can't believe this and say there's going to be a temple still. You can't take this and understand this is where this belongs, and that the 50 years is really a Jubilee cycle plus 70. You can't do this and say there's going to be a temple ever. This contradicts it. But that's all. The only way they were able to get their temple was pre and post trib. Never understanding any of this anyway. This is all hidden stuff that you guys got to see here. They'd always take the 12 hours and 60 days and throw it at the ending of the week. That's where pre does, and that's where post does. I'm giving you a midweek scenario showing you this is how they lay out. These two prove each other, and you cannot have a temple if unto the end war and desolations are determined. The city and the sanctuary shall be destroyed. By who? Well, who just went into Afghanistan? The people of the prince that shall come. He's not even there yet. The people of the prince that shall come shall destroy the city and the sanctuary. Who's the people? Somebody here just said recently, everybody's listened to, you guys got 100,000 subscribers, that it's going to be Russia. Russia may back what's going on over there, considering them that are allies, but Russia doesn't care about Jerusalem. You're going to have the people of the prince that shall come going into Jerusalem, the only people that want it. Who's that? Well, in the area is going to be Turkey, Syria, Iran. Big brother is Russia, but Russia don't want it. Russia, when we do our stupid number on these guys, is going to take care of us. I've already shown you that. No temple. And Russia isn't going to come in, folks. You're going to have the people of the prince. And who did you just see go into? The writing is on the wall. Who did we just see go into Afghanistan and take it over?
I have never felt it to this extent, helpless, hopeless, disappointed, poor and miserable in my life. All our 20 years achievement maybe just go in blinks of few days. I was a child when they were here, when they were there. Now I am an adult. I have seen how these people are. Yes, we accept US should leave the country, but why this way?
I can't believe the world abandoned Afghanistan. Our friends are going to get killed. They're going to kill us. Our women are not going to have any more rights.
Every night they call me, they cry. Yesterday they were supposed to be brought to Italy, but then they were told they had to wait. While I was on the phone with the girl, she suddenly fell to the floor and I didn't hear anything else. Then about an hour later, she called me back and said that the Taliban were going into every house looking for Christians.
We've concealed his identity for safety.
There weren't a lot of Christians 20 years ago during the Taliban time, but today we are talking about 5,000 to 8,000 local Christians, and they live all over Afghanistan. Some of the believers are known in their communities. People know that they converted from Islam to Christianity, and they are considered apostates, and the penalty for that is death. The Taliban are famous for carrying out that punishment.
Taliban fighters are reportedly now going door to door, forcing families to give up their daughters, some as young as 12, to be sex slaves for their men.
Woe to Israel. I feel so sorry for them right now. They're going to be surrounded, and we're not going to do one thing about it other than send in our eagle wings. Now they are going to be removed from their land. They are going to be killed, pillaged, raped, sold, and exiled. Our president turns her back on Israel, and we don't help them. And I got to tell you, that makes us as guilty as sin. When you could have done something and you do nothing, I think we take some into refuge, but The goal is to let them get out of the land, and then the land is just simply fought over. What president does this? You hear what I'm saying? You who don't want God, you get God out of, just no God. You know what? You're going to have no God. Not Jesus Christ anyway. You're going to be finding out Allah is going to be the new God. I know it sounds crazy, huh, folks? This is all scriptural. I'm telling you right now. You don't like God, you don't like Jesus, God's going to give you exactly what you want. You can pray to Allah instead.